seniors, if you're doing these 7 things, people might start thinking you can't live alone. And that can lead to some serious consequences, like your loved ones insisting you move in with them, hiring a caregiver, or even talking about assisted living before you're ready. But here's the truth. Most of these assumptions are wrong. You're independent, capable, and more than able to live on your own. But if you're not careful, these habits might be sending the wrong message. So let's go through them one by one, because knowing what they are could help you keep your independence for years to come. Now, before we jump in, let's be clear. This isn't about blaming or criticizing. This is for those of you who are still strong, capable, and fully independent, but want to make sure it stays that way. It's about keeping control over your own life and making sure no one else starts making decisions for you based on the wrong assumptions. Sometimes, small habits can make a big difference in how others see you. If family members start noticing these signs, they might assume you need help, even when you don't. The good news, most of these are easy to fix. So stay with me until the end, because I'll also give you a few simple tips to make sure people see you for who you truly are: strong, independent, and fully capable. All right, let's dive in. Number 1, talking about feeling lonely. Loneliness is something everyone experiences at some point, but when you're older, simply talking about it can set off alarm bells for your family. If you casually mention feeling lonely too often, people don't just hear it as a passing thought. Instead, they start thinking, are they struggling? Are they unhappy? Should they be living alone? And once that concern settles in, it doesn't go away. Next thing you know, they're checking in more often, pushing for visits, or even suggesting solutions you never asked for, like moving in with them, getting a roommate, or joining a senior community. All of this because they misread what you were trying to express. Talking about loneliness isn't the problem, it's how others interpret it. Now let's be real. Feeling lonely sometimes doesn't mean you can't live alone. Maybe you just had a quiet week. Maybe you miss certain people. Maybe you're just looking for a little more connection. That's normal. But if you don't want others assuming you're unhappy or incapable of living alone, you have to shift the conversation. Instead of focusing on what's missing, talk about the things that bring you joy. Even if you've had a quiet week, mention a book you're reading, a show you enjoyed, or a walk you took. Talk about the people you do see, even if it's just a neighbor or a quick phone call with a friend. When your family hears that you're engaged in things, even in small ways, they see someone who is thriving, not struggling. If you do want more social connection, take charge of it yourself. Join a local group, schedule meetups, or start a new hobby that gets you interacting with others. The key is making it clear that you're in control of your own happiness, not waiting for others to step in and fix something that isn't broken. Because once people believe you're lonely and struggling, they'll start making decisions for you. And that's the last thing you need. Number 2, forgetting to take care of your home. You've always taken pride in keeping your home clean and organized, but lately, maybe things have started to slip just a little. The dishes sit in the sink longer than usual, dust gathers on the shelves, or maybe the trash doesn't make it out as often as it used to. No big deal, right? But here's the thing. When family or friends stop by and notice this, they might start making assumptions, and not the right ones. They don't think, oh, maybe you've just been busy, or maybe you're just having an off week. No, their mind jumps straight to, maybe they can't keep up anymore, maybe they need help. And that's how the conversation starts, the one where they bring up hiring a housekeeper, a live-in caregiver, or even worse, talking about whether you should still be living alone. Now, let's be real. Sometimes life gets busy. Energy levels go up and down. Motivation comes and goes. That doesn't mean you need help. It just means you need a better system, a way to stay on top of things without feeling overwhelmed. And that's exactly what we're going to fix right now. Here's the trick. You don't need to clean your entire house in one exhausting day just to prove you're still independent. That's not the goal. Instead, set small, daily cleaning habits that make a difference over time. Maybe today, you wipe down the counters. Tomorrow, you tackle the dishes. The next day, you do a quick sweep of the floor. Simple, small steps, but the result? A home that always looks cared for, and more importantly, a message to everyone else that says, "I've got this, I am in control." Because at the end of the day, this isn't about impressing anyone. It's about making sure you continue living on your own terms. And that starts with keeping your space exactly how you want it. Number 3. Missing appointments or important dates. Ever had a doctor's appointment slip your mind? Or maybe you forgot a family gathering, a birthday, or even a bill payment. It happens to everyone, young or old. But here's the problem. When a younger person forgets something, it's brushed off as being busy. When a senior forgets, people start making assumptions, and not the good kind. They might start whispering among themselves, "Is Mom starting to forget things? Should we be worried? Is it time to step in?" Suddenly, one missed appointment turns into a bigger discussion about whether you need help managing your schedule, and before you know it, they're talking about things like having someone check in on you or even questioning if you can live alone. Now let's be real. You're not losing your memory. You're not struggling to keep up. You're just human. But if you don't want people making the wrong assumptions, it's time to take control. The fix? Make reminders your best friend. And no, you don't need fancy apps or complicated technology unless you like that kind of thing. A simple system works just as well. A whiteboard on the fridge, sticky notes by the door, or a good old-fashioned planner. If you're comfortable with technology, set up reminders on your phone so they alert you ahead of time. The goal here isn't to impress anyone, it's to show that you're still sharp, organized, and fully capable of managing your own schedule. Because the moment people stop seeing you as independent, they start making decisions for you. So, whether it's a doctor's visit, a bill, or even a casual lunch with a friend, make it a habit to set reminders. Not because you have to, but because it keeps you in control. And when you're in control, everyone else knows it too. Number 4. Struggling with technology. We live in a digital world. Everything, from banking to doctor's appointments to even basic communication, is moving online. And while that's great for convenience, it also creates a huge problem for seniors who don't keep up. Because when younger people see you struggling with technology, they don't think, "Oh, maybe they just don't like using phones or computers." No, they think, maybe they can't manage things on their own anymore. And once that idea gets into their heads, it spreads fast. Suddenly, they're offering to take care of things for you, handling your bank transactions, setting up your appointments, or even managing your accounts. And before you know it, you're dependent on them, even when you don't have to be. It's not that they mean harm, but the more they do for you, the more they believe you need them. Now, let's be clear. You don't have to become a tech expert. No one is expecting you to build a website or become a social media star overnight. But if you want to maintain your independence, you do need to know the basics, just enough to stay confident. Think about it like this. If you can send a simple text, check your email, make an online payment, or schedule an appointment from your phone, you're already ahead. And if you're not comfortable yet, take the time to learn on your own terms. Ask a friend, take a quick tutorial, or practice at your own pace. The key isn't to impress anyone. It's to show that you are still fully capable of handling your own affairs. Because the moment people assume you can't, they start making decisions for you. And you didn't come this far in life just to have someone else take over. Number 5. Driving hesitations or accidents. Driving is one of the biggest symbols of independence. It's the freedom to go where you want, when you want, without waiting on someone else. But here's the reality. The moment your family notices any hesitation in your driving, they start questioning whether you should still be on the road. And that conversation can get serious, fast. Maybe you've had a minor fender bender, maybe you're avoiding night driving, or maybe you're just a little more cautious than you used to be. To you, it's just being smart and careful. To them, it's a warning sign. They start whispering about whether it's safe for you to drive. Should you be out on your own? Should they step in? Now, let's be honest. You don't want to put yourself or anyone else in danger. But you also don't want people making decisions for you before it's necessary. And the good news, you can stay in control of this narrative. First, make sure your skills are sharp. A defensive driving course can be a great way to boost your confidence and prove to yourself and everyone else that you're still capable. Get your vision checked regularly to make sure you're seeing clearly, especially at night. And if you feel uncomfortable in certain driving conditions, adjust your routine instead of giving up driving altogether. Maybe you avoid rush hour or long-distance trips, but you still handle your daily errands with ease. The key is to stay proactive. The more you take steps to show you're still a safe driver, the less people will feel the need to step in. Because once they start questioning your ability to drive, it's a short road to them suggesting ride services, family chauffeurs, or even handing over your keys. Number 6. Struggling with grocery shopping or cooking. Eating well is a basic part of taking care of yourself, but here's the thing. When people start noticing changes in your eating habits, they don't just see it as a preference, they see it as a problem. If they open your fridge and see it half empty, their first thought isn't, "Oh, maybe they just haven't done their shopping yet." Instead, they think, are they struggling to get groceries? Are they forgetting to eat? Can they still cook for themselves? And that's when the questions start, about whether you need someone to help with shopping, whether it's safe for you to be cooking alone, or even whether it's time to consider meal delivery services. Now, let's be honest. Sometimes cooking just isn't as exciting as it used to be. Maybe you don't feel like preparing big meals anymore. Maybe you're just tired of the same routine. Or maybe you'd rather grab something quick than spend time cooking from scratch. That's completely normal. But if you don't want people assuming you can't take care of yourself, you have to be mindful of how it looks to them. The good news? You don't have to start cooking elaborate meals every night to show you're still on top of things. Keeping simple, nutritious foods on hand is enough to send the right message. A stocked fridge with easy-to-make meals, things like pre-cut vegetables, rotisserie chicken, frozen meals you actually enjoy, can make all the difference. And if grocery shopping feels like a hassle, consider ordering groceries online or making a shopping list that keeps things quick and efficient. The key here is making sure that when people look at how you're eating, they see someone who is still fully capable of taking care of themselves. Because if they start thinking you're struggling with food, it won't be long before they start offering solutions you don't actually need, like hiring someone to cook for you or insisting you move in with family. Number 7. Moving too slowly or appearing unsteady. How you move tells people a lot about how they think you're doing. If they see you walking confidently, they assume you're fine. But if they notice you moving a little slower, holding onto furniture for balance, or taking longer to get up from a chair, their mind jumps straight to one thing: fall risk. And once that thought enters their head, everything changes. They start hovering, watching your every step. They insist on holding your arm when you walk, even when you don't need it. Then come the concerns about whether you should still be living alone, whether you need a medical alert device, or even whether it's time to consider other living arrangements. And just like that, your independence is suddenly up for debate. But let's be real. Not every slow movement is a sign of decline. Sometimes you're just being careful. Sometimes You're just stiff from sitting too long, and sometimes you just move at your own pace, and that's okay. But if you don't want people assuming the worst, it's time to take control of the way you move. The fix: strength and balance. And no, that doesn't mean spending hours at the gym. Just a few simple daily stretches can keep your body flexible and your movement steady. Leg lifts, toe taps, even standing on one foot for a few seconds a day can make a huge difference. If getting up from a chair feels harder than it used to, practice it a few times a day, building strength so it becomes effortless again. Because the truth is, the stronger and steadier you look, the more people trust that you're still fully in control. The moment they stop seeing hesitation, they stop worrying. And when they stop worrying, they stop interfering. And that's what this is really about. Keeping yourself strong, confident, and independent. Because let's face it, you've been on your own 2 feet for a long time. You're not about to let someone else decide when that changes. So there you have it, 7 things that might make people think you can't live alone. But now you know how to stay ahead of it. Small changes can make a huge difference in how others see your independence. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had family assume you needed help when you really didn't? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tips on staying independent and thriving at any age. Stay strong, stay independent, and I'll see you in the next one.